Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, moved quietly through a world that rarely allowed quiet. With Prince George of Wales, Princess Charlotte of Wales, and Prince Louis of Wales beside them, the shift during that school break seemed ordinary on the surface. But inside the walls of Buckingham Palace, nothing was ordinary anymore. It began with something that, to the outside world, would appear trivial. 3 tiaras. But within royal tradition, symbols are never just objects. They carry weight, history, identity. And when those symbols are moved without permission, it is never accidental. It is deliberate. Early November presented perfection to the public. Events aligned with precision. Appearances polished. Every detail curated. Yet beneath that elegance, pressure built quietly. 2 major occasions loomed. One hosted by Queen Camilla, the other marking the presence of King Charles III. These were not just events. They were statements of position, of hierarchy, of control. And at the center of it all stood Camilla, not merely participating, but directing. Every choice passed through her hands. Every detail reflected intention. It was not preparation, it was orchestration. The evening of November 4th carried a stillness that felt heavier than silence. A corridor, dimly lit, became the stage for something far more significant than words alone. Camilla approached Catherine with calm precision. The request seemed simple, access to the Oriental circlet. But Catherine understood immediately. In this world, nothing is ever just a request. Her response was measured, respectful, composed. She had already planned to wear it. That should have been enough, but it wasn't. What followed was not negotiation. It was assertion. Camilla's tone shifted, her words sharper, her presence closer. The line between request and command disappeared. And then came the sentence that changed everything. I am the queen. There are moments when power reveals itself, not through action, but through tone. This was one of them. Catherine did not raise her voice. She did not argue. Instead, she chose control. A quieter, more dangerous response. She acknowledged, but she did not submit. And when she walked away, composed and silent, the moment did not end. It expanded. By the next morning, something intangible had already spread through the palace. Staff sensed it. A shift, a disruption. Then came the action. Without warning, without formal approval, security entered the vault. The hesitation of protocol was overridden by authority. And with that, history was removed. The Oriental circlet, the Cambridge lover's knot, the lotus flower tiara. 3 pieces, each carrying legacy. One associated with Catherine's balance, one deeply tied to Diana, Princess of Wales, and one symbolizing transformation. This was not necessity. It was intention. When the truth reached Catherine, it did not arrive loudly. It arrived quietly, carried in careful words and controlled expressions. But its impact was immediate. She did not react outwardly. Not at first. Years of discipline held firm. Yet beneath that calm, something was building. Something precise. Something patient. And when she walked into Camilla's office later that day, the air itself seemed to pause. The exchange that followed was not emotional. It was exact. Questions met with dismissal. Respect met with authority. And when Camilla said, I took them because I could, the situation revealed its true nature. This was not about events. It was about control. When Prince William returned, the contrast was immediate. The warmth of family lasted only seconds before something deeper surfaced. He saw it instantly. Not exhaustion, not stress, something heavier. Catherine held it together, as she always had. But this time, it did not remain contained. Slowly, carefully, she told him everything. Each moment, each word, each decision made without her. And when she reached the final detail, that one of the tiaras was intended for personal use, outside royal duty, her composure cracked. Not dramatically, just enough to reveal truth. William did not interrupt. He listened, fully. Then came his response, quiet, but unwavering. This was not acceptable, because what had been taken were not just objects. They were markers of her journey, her identity, her place within a system that demanded both visibility and restraint. It was about erasing me, she said. And in that moment, the situation shifted entirely. This was no longer internal tension. It was personal. William made a decision. Not impulsive, not reactive, but firm. This would not be ignored. The next morning carried a different energy. Not rushed, not chaotic, focused. Together, William and Catherine moved through the palace with quiet certainty. No announcement, no hesitation, just intent. When they stood before King Charles III, the conversation that followed was direct, clear, unavoidable. The facts were laid out. The removal of the tiaras, the absence of permission, the misuse of authority, and finally, the purpose that had nothing to do with duty. Silence followed, but not uncertainty, recognition. Charles understood what had happened, and more importantly, what it meant. His decision was immediate. The tiaras would be returned, no exceptions. And then, a consequence that carried its own weight. Camilla would not wear a tiara at the upcoming events. It was not public. It was not announced. But within those walls, it was understood. Power had been checked. Weeks later, at a state banquet, Catherine entered wearing the Oriental circlet, composed, steady, unshaken. No words were spoken. None were needed. Because sometimes the strongest statements are the ones delivered in silence.